know this is no place for a child. Wherever I go, he goes. So I've heard.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Soup. I am Beau Oliver, joined here today by Aaron, the Nerd Soup Monkey, and Teddy, and we are back for our Mandalorian Season 2, Chapter 14 spoiler discussion, The Tragedy. Haven't done one of these in a couple of weeks, and I blame the runtimes.
I blame the mics.
I also blame the mics.
Yeah, put on the mics.
Hard to 3-man with 2 mics. I'm not sharing with Teddy. In this climate, you kidding me?
Yeah,
I don't want to share with you.
Here.
Well, you don't want to share with me because you're probably just a selfish prick, but I can actually get sick because you are disgusting and don't take care of yourself.
Okay, aggressive.
Wow, that was
aggressive off the
attack.
jump. 3-man back.
You're sick every other day.
I wouldn't say that he doesn't take care of himself.
I got a stuffy nose right now.
Teddy
Yeah, he's
is
always
always
sick.
looking out for number one. Don't joke about that. And we are back to talk about, like I said, The Mandalorian Chapter 14. It was a big episode. A lot of things happened in this episode in the short runtime, but it still managed to be very exciting with the action set pieces and the appearance of Boba Fett. His not big return because we saw him in the first episode of this season, but
Big
the
return?
Wide body,
Heavy set.
Yeah, he's Daddy Boba here.
He had a rough life, man. He had a rough life.
It's like when you're getting beat up at the park and your dad comes and beats up the kid. That's
much.
what he was doing here.
What kind of fucked up childhood did you have?
I got a lot of beatings from multiple people.
Boba did have a rough life, though, if you think about it.
Yeah, talk about a rough
He was
childhood.
sitting pretty.
He was
In the middle of the year, bounty hunting, chilling, going to different planets. I'm sure he had a good time.
Did his dad's head get cut off in front of him?
Yeah, but that's when you're like, you're a kid, you repress that.
Yeah, his life in the Clone Wars was hell, actually. Raised by killers and mercenaries.
Well, I never
really
seen
had
that.
a home.
Well,
Vagabond.
in my mind, he's just straight chilling throughout the galaxy, hunting some bounties.
I think it's been nothing but stress on him, and now he can relax.
Well, yeah, the Sarlacc,
Now he can relax. He's going on a mission next episode.
I was going to say after he helps out
probably his
Mando.
ultimate test. He's dead.
He wasn't relaxing in the pit, but after that, I think, even after that, count your blessings, move on.
On Tatooine. Count the 2 suns every night. That is a living hell. That is the definition of a living hell. He finally got to go out and explore, see some greenery. It's like Rey in The Force Awakens. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Just see mirages for the rest of your life if you're on Tatooine. But Teddy, you didn't get a chance to talk about Boba's return. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. You know what? I respect this show because, for all accounts, they could have stayed with the Jedi and then went that route, and I respect that they didn't.
Oh, they're going back.
I know they're going back, but
but
this show,
detour.
this season right now is based off Mando and not the Jedi, and that they introduced the Jedi and now they just put it back, and then they'll get back to it eventually. But I respect that they went this route, and Boba Fett was fucking sick, man.
Is it Baba or Boba?
Boba, depends how you say it. he was
Depends on who I'm with.
Yeah,
and how they
he was
say it.
smooth with the action, man.
He was
With
also
that fucking staff, dude.
He was smooth with the staff, and he was also very strong with the staff. He was breaking bones, breaking armor.
Might have been the most useless stormtroopers I've ever seen. And there's been a lot of instances of useless stormtroopers, but my
set
God.
that gun up. That gun did something for the 30 seconds it was up.
Yeah, it was cool for her to run away from it. That was cinematic. They're like, look at this. We're going to give her the awesome shot here of just her running away, the sun in the background. No, they suck.
Are they ever going to be good? Ever? Or is that just going to be Star Wars? Just useless fight scenes?
Well, the traitor stormtrooper against Finn, he was pretty, I guess, formidable.
But why send them in?
Other than that, not great.
Why? I would have rather them send the dark troopers in than the stormtroopers.
I think they were just there to be a distraction. Let's just send
right.
so much of them and then just swoop in with the dark troopers, and they managed to steal Grogu.
Not cool, man.
No, not cool. And you mentioned that they got away from the Jedi, even though Grogu spends the entire episode trying to contact the Jedi.
Yeah, but
with a giant force field.
Yeah, but there was no Jedi that came back, and they ended up taking Grogu, which I didn't see coming.
Grogu.
I said Grogu. I didn't say Grogu.
You said, I will play that back. Yeah.
Well, they took him.
Well, that call, we were talking about that, and you actually did speculate on this during the Ahsoka episode review, that it would be Mace Windu. And I still would love to see that. I've seen people online complaining that it would just make no sense, but it's Star Wars. None of it makes sense.
Did you think that the ship coming in was a
Tracking
Jedi?
people through hyperspace. No.
You don't think so?
No, that's Slave
Well,
One,
yeah, I
man.
knew that, but That would have been corny.
You're like,
Within
did you know
30
what that
seconds. 30 seconds of him on the stone. There's a Jedi in there.
I thought, well, Aaron mentioned this too, that a Jedi would appear eventually as they got overwhelmed. For a second, I thought Boba was just going to steal the armor and run away. But he did mention that even though he had Fennec with a shot on Grogu saying, it's our duty to protect Grogu, but we'll kill him if you don't give me my dad's armor back.
Well, do you think the bullet would have even the blaster would have went through that force field?
Yeah, Mando should have
I don't think
called
so.
their bluff.
100%.
Yeah, take him out.
Yeah, shoot the kid.
Fuck that kid. I don't even like him. It's force-piercing bullets. Only Fennec has them.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the two big things from this episode were Boba Fett's return, obviously, and Grogu and all the speculation that comes with him trying to contact other Jedi. What other Jedi? Ted says Mace Windu. You see Cal. You see Ezra. Luke. Is there any other ones out there?
Technically, it could be Leia. At this point in her life, I think she is training. I mean, you look at those flashback scenes in Rise of Skywalker, she's still pretty young. She's Carrie Fisher Leia when she was being trained by Luke. That could be a way to bring in a young actress and get more Leia stuff. That was one of the bigger complaints with the sequel trilogy, right? Not enough Leia on screen. But this is going to upset people no matter what. People are upset with Boba Fett being in this episode.
Why?
No, I love that, man.
It's like a cartoon.
I saw
It's
someone
fun.
complain
I like
about, they put the real Boba Fett in the fake Boba Fett show. I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah, no, it's...
Bringing back the legends, man. Come on.
This is what the show is. This is what I expected. Like some fun,
Some fun callbacks.
Going into
new
it
characters.
before it started, I kind of would have wanted them to stay away from all this too. But now that they haven't embraced it, but they've kind of were able to introduce familiar elements, and I think
they're maneuvering the lore into Star Wars smoothly, not over.
but like in a reasonable way that makes sense. So you're not like, oh, now here's fucking Darth Vader. It's like, oh yeah, maybe Boba's still on Tatooine.
Right.
It's not in your face.
Well, the big complaint with the prequels is that they just relied too heavily on things that we've already seen, characters that we already know, right? Just bringing back all these member berries. With Mando, like you said, they're not shoving it in our face. It's Boba Fett appears, then he's on the sideline for 5 episodes, and then he comes and saves the day. And it's cool because we know him from the original movies, and he's got all this history throughout all the different iterations of Star Wars.
Well, that's why I respect with the Jedi route that they went in. We're 2 seasons in. Second season, episode 10? We got our first Jedi, and it wasn't even a full episode. It was like she was in like half the episode.
How many episodes do you think are in this season?
I don't know. It's fucking me up with the 14.
It was episode 6.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, chapter
5 or
14,
6.
same thing. You know what I mean, guy. The season's almost over in season 2, and they waited so long to put the Jedi in Star Wars,
right?
And I respect it.
And with Boba Fett, I mean, he is.
That Filoni? God his respect.
I just don't understand how people can be upset about watching. It's like watching a baseball game and complaining about home runs. That people are just hitting too many home runs. I mean, you come to Star Wars. The complaint about that it's a big universe and there's only 10 people in it, I enjoy that. If you start to make that universe too big, it makes no sense, theoretically. There's no way that these many star systems could keep communication with each other in a functioning government. So you have to suspend it. I like it that Boba Fett is in every the prequel, the show, the original series, and now the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
It's Star Wars. He's a part of Star
Wars.
Wars.
Yeah, he's in this universe.
I don't know what people want from Star Wars.
It's something where you can relate this to a live action version of like a Clone Wars type cartoon, where it's very cartoony in a lot of its elements and kind of the way it goes episodically for the most parts of each season. So it's like, if this was like an animated series and Boba Fett came up, I don't think anyone would really bat an eye.
No.
But I guess live action, I think people have a different perception of what it should be or how it should differentiate between a animated series, but this really is what it is. It's like a live action cartoon.
Yeah, I don't think people realize that the sandbox for Star Wars is not that big. Mm-hmm. And when you start to veer away from it, it's just every other sci-fi ripoff of what Star Wars is. So you have to embrace the elements that make this show great. And I think taking it back to the episodic style, it's a reminiscent of how TV used to be, but they do weave in the overarching story points. So I just don't know what the Star Wars fans want anymore, because I watch this episode and then go on my app and I see people arguing over it.
You can't please everyone.
Star
makes
Wars
me-
fans don't know what they want.
They're very confused.
You would think that this show is like keeping Star Wars alive, arguably.
I think for
I
the
think it
most
is.
part, most Star Wars fans are pleased with this show and enjoy it. I think maybe general audiences who hear Mandalorian and it's like, oh, this is the new Star Wars thing everyone's talking about, let me watch it, and then they don't really give a shit, or they're not like, maybe that Ahsoka episode isn't as great for them because they don't really know who she is, or they don't really care about Boba Fett. It's like, oh, it's that guy who stood there for that one movie or two movies. So,
But on the same coin,
it's-
that could ring to the general audience because now Jedi's back in Star Wars. Technically, you get a Jedi, which you think Star Wars, you think Jedi, and now technically they're back in the show. So maybe this is going to bring back some audience.
Definitely. And I think they may have done the best job of bringing the Jedi to life in this new Disney Star Wars with
Yeah.
Ahsoka. I thought the action, the look of the character, the lightsabers.
You think Jedi, you think like ninja, and that's literally what she was in that
Yeah,
episode.
it's samurai too.
And
She was
also-
the Ronin samurai.
And also, they're bringing back, for the general audience, they're using big names where people can relate if you're not a huge fan of Star Wars and don't know all the lore. You got to know, if you know anything about Star Wars, you know Boba Fett, you know Yoda.
I think the stormtroopers may be a good argument. Why does it always have to be stormtroopers?
That's what they know.
Just
right?
yeah, that's what people know. But you can change it up. I mean, they always give the stormtroopers makeovers in the movies. They're like, these are the pink troopers, and they have
camo-
pink on them because
I think was there camo? The ones that they were like tan.
they had
shooting
one
grenades?
one in this episode that had like a yellow
Yeah.
thing on it or something like that, which always indicates some
different one.
bullshit. Yeah,
Yeah.
just look at the visual dictionary. I don't know. That's definitely coming soon. But I think they could just, like the Dart Troopers, we were very excited to see the Dart Troopers, to see what they were. Would they be mechanical or force sensitive?
We didn't find that out yet, though, right? There was no force with the Dark Troopers yet, right?
No, they just
I didn't
kind of
see.
look like robots. But
Yeah.
hey, you never know what they're cooking up. Now they have
Why need
Grogu.
Grogu?
I wonder if now that they have Grogu, if they get the chance to run more tests and talk about pulling back the curtain, if we see Granddaddy Palps and some sort of
What about Snoke? Is he dead right now?
no. This would be I guess the time period in which Snoke is born,
Okay.
birthed, created.
Yeah, I think
That could be something that they do in the later seasons. But
Is there general knowledge?
Moff
about-
Gideon's got him.
Yeah. So is the black saber? Do you need to be force sensitive to wield the black saber?
No,
Or no.
No,
it's just
lightsaber
having
is just a
same
weapon.
thing. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Just be good with it.
It's they say it's better in the hand of someone who is force sensitive because
Yeah.
the crystals are force sensitive inside of the lightsaber. But anyone can look at. Well, Finn is actually force sensitive.
Han.
That was Han. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're good at fighting, I mean, the darksaber was a Mandalorian weapon. It wasn't necessarily a weapon of
Okay.
a force sensitive Mandalorian. Favreau actually voices a character in the cartoons who wielded the darksaber against Darth Maul. Got his
That's
shit
sick.
rocked. Yeah, we saw the darksaber.
Yeah.
What'd you
Well,
think?
Gideon, I mean, he's got to he almost has to be working with Palpatine, right?
Yeah.
I wonder how deep they'll delve into that. Is it going to be like a, kind of Rise of Skywalker jumping off point where it's like, oh, now that they introduced this kind of makes more sense, and maybe that changes the way you view that movie? I kind of hope they're just like, if they do something like that, they're doing it just because it makes sense within their story, not to try to save a different story that someone else made. I don't think that makes sense to me. So I hope it's just not like, all right, well, now we got to try to save Palpatine because no one liked the movie. It's like, okay, this makes sense. We're not going to dive too deep into that. Maybe it's just like a cool little
It connects to it.
overarching thing in the background there.
I think they just may just have their cake and eat it too in this situation, where it looks like Favreau isn't being told what to do with this show. He brought in a guy like Dave Filoni, who is very connected to Rebels and Clone Wars, so adding in those characters is seamless for them. I don't think that he has Iger or Kathleen Kennedy saying, hey, you need to introduce these things. But I think he might, just because it's there. Because they've established in The Rise of Skywalker that Palpatine didn't go away, that he was operating in the shadows. So Favreau probably makes the call and say, hey, I have a pretty neat idea for how we can bring Snoke and Palpatine into The Mandalorian. What do you think? And they're probably like, thank you, John.
You
Thank
saved
you
us.
for this, yes. Because if they came down and said, hey, you had to do this, I think Favreau would be like, no. because it's always felt like its own thing, even though they do bring in those elements. But like I always said, just going back to that, those are elements that are inherent to Star Wars. And Rise of Skywalker is an abomination, not because it's that bad of a movie, but just because it's the end of that trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that series.
On the
bad,
surface,
yeah.
I still enjoyed it, but like the more you think about it, and the more it's
It was a shitty way to wrap it
Well,
up.
it's every
just
criticism
the way
I have.
it was made. It was kind of like, oof, this is a little rough here.
Every criticism I have of Return of the Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, times a million. My big complaint about Return of the Jedi is that it's anticlimactic. Well, let's not get into the Rise of Skywalker. But, yeah, I don't think it would come from the top, like, hey, we need to fix this movie. The movie is what it is at this point. So
My biggest takeaway from this episode...
I think they'll be able to do it in a cool way.
My biggest takeaway from this episode is Star Wars has, like you guys are talking about now, like they have... The Mandalorian has its mission now. You know, the Imperial's back. They're still there. This is the story they're gonna go with to push this show forward. And I think we'll see movies off of this. I think we'll get maybe one more season and we'll get a movie off this.
Well, I think definitely we'll see, whether if it's in season 3 or season 4, this whatever this is, the last of the Empire, the remnants of the Empire, become the First Order.
Right.
Movies, possibly. I think the best way to explore this time gap, is on television.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have the Ahsoka series, and they kind of set that up with the Thrawn stuff in that episode she was in, so maybe it's just like a connected universe. Well, obviously it's a connected universe, but like within the same world and same time period, with Mandalorian going on, with the Ahsoka series going on. Isn't there supposed to be a Boba Fett series? I don't want that. It's Mandalorian. We already had. What else can you do? But anyway, if you have like those two series,
That's
running,
when it gets stupid. That's when you can accuse them of just milking it for.
Yeah, but like if you have Ahsoka and Mando like running simultaneously and kind of interacting within the similar stories and similar type events and enemies, then I think that's like a different way you can do, rather than going back to their trilogy format.
Wait, but why not though? Because we don't accuse Marvel for just milking it. Star Wars has their characters. Why not flesh off them and take the Marvel format?
Because
do
making a Boba
spin-offs.
Fett
Does each
show would be
character-
like making a Iron Patriot show in the middle of Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3. Be like making Batman Jr. while you have Batman.
Like a Robin show?
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
All right, okay.
It's he's going to be doing the same thing, just a Mandalorian traveling the galaxy.
Would it be cool if they just did bounties? If they had a series of Boba Fett doing bounties?
No.
Each episode is a bounty?
No.
You don't think that'd be cool?
No, because once again, that's just the Mandalorian again.
But Mando isn't doing bounties. He has a whole different...
Yeah, but we're doing this show because you recognize the name. He was used perfectly here.
All right.
I'm not giving. I
Give it a
don't want to
couple
give
episodes.
Joey a spinoff from Friends. You know.
All right.
He got
He
one.
has one.
I know. I'm saying.
Oh.
I don't want to keep doing it. Let Joey thrive as Joey within the ensemble.
Bill Burr's back in it, too.
Well, yeah, Bill
I love
Burr is
it.
coming back. What did you think about Grogu using those Force powers at the end to toss around those stormtroopers?
Oh, that was sick.
Right.
So I wonder if he was testing him, or if Grogu knew that it was a test, or if he was actually like fighting back. Which I thought he was fighting back, unless Gideon was just playing on him, knowing that he would fight back. And
I think he
Gideon's
was.
test.
That was Grogu's attempt to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
And obviously he's not.
He fell asleep after.
Right. Well, that's the thing. He just exerted so much energy on the Seeing Stone. So maybe at full strength, because we've seen him do pretty incredible things. You would think 4 stormtroopers would be
Nothing for him. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he stopped that beast in the first season, and he's done other stuff as well. So, yeah, I think that was just him trying to make his escape, and he got tuckered out.
Yeah.
And Moff Gideon was impressed.
Yep. I think Gideon knows what he has, and he's gonna be fucked. I think when Mando comes on with his team.
Well, yeah, he's going to assemble the team, and I think we're going to be in for a big climactic showdown in these next couple of episodes. But I wonder do you think they have to resolve this season, or can they go another season of Gideon on the trail? It almost seems like this may be the end.
I want more Gideon then, man. I think if Gideon has a good 2 episodes, I think they can.
How many times are you gonna get Baby Yoda in the wrong hands and have to save him? I mean, it's only happened twice, but those are the integral parts of the season. So if you're gonna base your story around that aspect, then can you really do that again? Unless they do it in some kind of continuing fashion where Baby Yoda is with Gideon for the better part of the rest of the season and next season. But I don't know. I wonder if
I think Grogu gets to the Jedi next in the last episode, and then that's going to be their route.
I think it could be the end of Moff Gideon for this season, and if he does have a great last 2 episodes where he's fighting and he's doing badass things and he goes out on a memorable note, because that's kind of Star Wars tradition, right? You have your villain, and he's spooky, he's scary, played by a good actor, looks cool, but doesn't really do much. When he does do stuff, he does some cool stuff. He
went out on a good note in the first season, though, too.
Right.
And then we found out in like the last 3 seconds that he was still alive, but he had that ending, and they still kept him alive.
Right. Well, maybe they do keep him alive and move him into season 3. Or there could be another villain on the horizon, someone badder and bigger than Moff Gideon, someone who's also working with Palpatine and trying to create Snoke. It could be Thrawn, but everyone's saying Thrawn's going to be the Ahsoka villain.
Unless they kind of combine, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure they have somewhat of an idea of where they want to take the story, so at this point, I think they've afforded themselves enough goodwill to kind of, if they want to move on from Gideon, then I'm interested to see what they'll do next. If they want to extend it a little, then I have faith they can do it in a way that's not too repetitive.
Yeah, because he's going to be a main part of these last 2 episodes. So he's there, and he's going to be on screen, and we haven't seen much of him, but he made an impression last season when he got the chance. And so far, I thought that scene with Grogu was a great scene. It was a great villain scene. You have this adorable little baby that the world loves, and you shove a lightsaber in his face. Get that fucking thing out of his face.
You know what scene psycho. I love? I watched it the other day. It was
he better chill.
When Walt first meets Gus.
Yeah.
And he's like doing oh, I'm sorry, we can't help you. And he keeps talking to him. He's like, I don't think we're alike at all, Mr. White. Yeah. He changes that voice. I'm like, yo, this man
easily one of the best scenes on
fucking
TV.
Amazing.
He's a good actor.
I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, I hope if it is the end, we get a sick couple episodes here where he's just really imposing his will, has a darksaber, maybe battling somebody. You have Mando with the Beskar.
We're getting that fight. We're getting that fight. I'm telling you right now. The spear and the darksaber fight. I'm pumped for that.
Obviously, that's. I mean, the Ahsoka battle, it wasn't just for this, but it kind of set that up where
the lightsaber
it could deflect a lightsaber. So here you go, Mando. You might need it.
Yeah, it's going to be epic to see all of them fighting together. That's going to be costly. So I'm wondering how epic they really go.
So is this team going to be Fennec, Boba Fett, Bill Burr, and Cara Dune and him?
Cara Dune, and we're thinking Bo-Katan shows up.
That's a solid team.
Well, you would think that he would just hit her up if he's got her number. Hopefully, they exchange contacts. I mean, hey, you want the Darksaber? I know where this asshole is.
Yeah, well, their plans align. Grief Karga, I have a hard time believe he's only going to be in that one episode. I think.
That Squid Guy come
back. Do you
back?
get another Ahsoka?
Do you want a Squid Guy? No.
Do we get more Ahsoka? Or is it just here, Rosario Dawson, put on makeup for one episode and you're done?
I think that's going to be it.
I kind of like the idea of that as well, where Ahsoka was just there for the one episode. Yep. It keeps her mysterious, because we're all speculating on what she's doing. We really don't know, because there is some.
Maybe that was their plan. One episode can be kind of like a test run.
Yeah, it's just a nice teaser.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so curious about these Dark Troopers. I really want to know what they can do. How bad they really are.
I think they'll be badass Terminator style,
yeah.
Star Wars androids, but eventually they'll just get pieced up.
I wonder who's going to be worse, the SHIELD guys with the guns or them?
They need to bring those back.
Hell yeah!
I would lose my shit if I talk about losing your shit over Boba Fett. Those
those guys were the worst.
Video game it was, but they were hard to beat.
Yeah. It was like the Phantom Menace video game or something like that.
I just can't wait to see what fucking Jedi comes, because it's gonna happen. I think it might be Cal, because you have the actor right there, the voice actor and the character in the video game. They're the same, and I think he's a pretty good actor.
Wait, no, he would be.
He can't be Cal because
he would be much older.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even realize that with Cal. It's so hard to fucking keep up with the damn.
How old is Cal?
The game is after Palpatine takes over the Republic, so it's right after
20
the
years.
The game takes place right after 66.
Could play the Joker. I'm sure he could play an old.
I wouldn't mind Cal. That would be cool. We played the game.
An older Cal?
Yeah, he's a Jedi. He's got red hair.
He's got his powers, yeah, all right.
Damian Lewis. First redhead I thought of, I could think of in Hollywood.
Karen Gillan.
I don't really know Ezra, but I know he has that connection with Ahsoka, right? I mean, Luke.
Well, Ezra, there was an actor who was rumored to play Ezra, and he debunked it a few weeks ago. I forget who the guy's name was. You gotta go original trilogy, man. I think it's appropriate. I think you can't worry about people saying you're relying too much on them.
Sebastian Stan or CG?
No, Sebastian Stan. Everyone's like, his head is too big.
Yeah.
What? Are we really
that
measuring
what-
heads?
Is that what we
my
care about?
disbelief for, but if someone's like, oh, CGI, like, it worked perfectly in a 10-second scene, a little glimpse.
No.
For a
that
whole-
would look terrible on television.
Especially with the TV budget.
Yeah. Oh, no, that would be
I mean,
awful.
they got a nice budget here, but nothing close to what they were afforded with for the Rise of Skywalker. And yeah, on a dark planet with like little lights, blue and green lights, you could make that work. If it's a daylight scene, I don't know, for like an extended period of time.
You want to see him talking, interacting
Fighting.
with characters, fighting.
You know, as much as we would
Go
hate it,
Sebastian Stan.
as much as we would
And
hate
I
it or
want
love it,
Adam Driver to play Kylo Ren, young Ben Solo, who's there, but just like they don't reference it. It's just Adam
He's
Driver.
just 6 years old,
playing.
but as a 6'2" Adam Driver.
Yeah,
as
That
much
I
as we would
wouldn't
hate
like
it or
as
love
much.
it, though,
I think that would be great.
He could probably pull it off, if anybody could.
Master Skywalker, I shit
no,
my
wait.
pants. Are you gonna clean it? And Mace Windu, I don't think makes sense at all. But that's been. Then you got to do the Mace Windu series. What did you do after Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah. I think that can also be a situation of they can answer that in a couple of flashbacks. Like, I met up with Yoda, and Yoda was like, you need to go to this ancient Jedi thing and find this thing and bring it to me because it's going to help me do this.
At the end of the day, there's like what 6 Jedi, and none of them helped Luke.
No.
Fucking scumbags. Anakin was right.
I mean, Obi-Wan and Yoda helped him.
Barely.
Ahsoka had problems. They all had problems of their own, man. They were all on the run.
Yeah, but I think you
They're
put
all
away
wanted.
pride to destroy the Galactic Empire. That's just me. Maybe I'm just.
You need to watch Rebels.
Yeah, and Obi-Wan and Yoda, they just died. So, it's taught them a few
It's
maneuvers.
all about the lessons.
Yeah.
Lessons learned. The memories they made together.
Luke put the Jedi on his back.
I'll give you that.
they chose to die, though. Obi-Wan and Yoda.
Yoda was like, I'd rather die than have a hard conversation with you about your father. And Obi-Wan was just like,
I fucking told him so.
trust me.
I'm old as shit anyway.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
And Luke bailed, too.
Jedi fucking suck.
As soon as the going gets tough, they dip.
You know what? They just shouldn't have trained Anakin, really. They should have just stuck to their guns.
Yoda should put his foot down, right?
Yeah, it makes sense why they get them while they're young. So
At least
they don't
Anakin
have
had
any,
some sense
attachments.
about him, like with these stupid rules and just how they. I mean, the Jedi with Anakin, they were letting a fucking empire build right under their fucking noses, and they just didn't even bother.
Well,
Dooku told Obi-Wan, "Hey, this is what's happening," and he's like, "Nope, not happening."
As much as we would hate it or love it, though, bringing Skywalker back into it will drive this.
It sells.
Yeah, it's going to sell Disney Plus. People find out that the Skywalker's back in it, you know.
I think it sells to an extent. I don't think it's as big as how they hid Luke during the Force Awakens marketing. That was just genius. Because the whole campaign was, where the hell is Luke?
Yeah.
And casual fans, they would come up to me and be like, you know where Luke is? I'm like, no, I don't know. And then Luke Skywalker has vanished still today. Thinking of it, chills. I just don't understand how this would upset people.
It's cool to have Luke back.
At the end of the day, they're trying to sell their content to general audiences, so I doubt they're too worried about which types of fans they are upsetting, because they know that a decision like bringing Luke or Leia into the show would please a majority of the fans.
I think it's like comedy, where if it's done right, everyone can like it. So I think if they do it right, I think
Comedy.
everyone will like it.
Infamously, the most subjective thing in the world.
If comedy is done right, everyone will like it.
Yeah.
I wish you were back in the 1930s Hollywood. That's where you belong. You should have
Why?
been running a 1930s Hollywood studio.
You think so?
If it's good, everyone will like it.
It's objectively the most
Arguably.
subjective thing in the
Arguably,
world.
a lot of people will like it if comedy's done right.
I know what you're saying. That if
Yeah.
Luke comes in and it's just not fanboy fan service, I mean,
Yeah.
how do you not make it fanboy fan service?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's kind
Have a meaning behind Luke coming in there. Have your story for Luke.
right. At this point, Luke is not some, whiny hermit who screams at children. He's still the man. I hate to put it that way, but he's still a hero.
Oh, he's riding high.
Yeah, he's like like LeBron this offseason. Just
No,
taking
he's
the victory lap.
JR with just no shirt on.
No
after-
shirt.
after they won the
You
championship.
think he's gonna show
for
up like
months.
Kylo? That's where Kylo got it from. With the no shirt covering the belly button.
Does Ahsoka know Yoda, like Luke would know Yoda, or did she just know of Yoda?
No, I mean Ahsoka knew Yoda for years.
Yeah.
Luke knew him for a fucking weekend.
I thought she said
Not even the real Yoda for most of it.
Yeah.
no. I thought when she told Mando who Grogu was, like I thought she said she reminds me of like an old Master Jedi like Yoda. Like she just knew of Yoda.
No. They didn't have many interactions, but they actually did release a kids cartoon that's set during the Clone Wars, and it stars Yoda and Ahsoka
Oh, cool.
in a training session. So no, I mean Anakin trained with Yoda. Ahsoka was Anakin's Padawan.
Right.
Yoda was the Dumbledore of
Yeah.
the Jedi at that point, so everyone knew who he was. And so that's why it was great as soon as she looked at him and just that little face staring back at her. It's adorable.
So this is what you guys look like.
Yoda fucked Yaddle.
A lot of people have been wondering, did Yoda and Yaddle?
Do you answer that as like Star Wars? Like, do you answer that kind of question? Because people have to be wondering that. It's not just like
I thought, you know what it is with this getting into Yoda's possible relationship with the Jedi? They're really making it that Grogu's creed are the Jedi. Those are his
Right.
people.
Yeah.
And we thought maybe in the first season that we would learn more about the Yoda species, where they come from, what planet they come from, why are they so in tune with the Force, because the three members of this species that we've seen have been 2 Master Jedis and one with
chosen one.
yeah, one chosen one with great potential. I wonder if they'll ever go that route. If they tell us this is the name of the species, this is where the species, these are your people.
Right.
Because that would also kind of further the idea of getting away from the dogmatic Jedi, embracing who you are, embracing your loved ones, while also maintaining who you are as a person. But once again, they just made a mistake because Anakin was too old. You get them while you're young.
Yep.
They're young. You brainwash them. They're like monks. The fact that Obi-Wan was out there running around.
Hypocrite, man.
Yeah.
They're all hypocrites.
Yeah, and if Yoda and Yaddle, talk about scandal.
Right?
Yoda's impeachment trial.
You're going to out Yoda like that?
Sexual relations.
The guy's dead, man.
Did not.
Could have just artificially inseminated her through the Force. Sure, he could do something like that.
All right, everybody, and that is The Mandalorian Season 2, Chapter 14, the tragedy review, spoiler discussion, and also kind of a preview for what's to come in the next couple of weeks.
Force Ghost Yoda in a trial.
That type of trial
Yeah.
of all the Force Ghosts. Just Darth Vader presiding over it. For Aaron the Nerd 2 Monkey and Teddy, I am Beau Oliver here, signing off, and we will see you next week. Next 2 weeks for the last final episodes of The Mandalorian Season 2. Well, would you look at that? It's finally over. Hey guys, Beau Oliver here for one final send-off. Now, before I beg you guys to like and share this video, I'd like to thank our very special Patreon pledgers. We are very proud of the community we've been able to build here at NerdSoup, and it would not have been possible without our Patreon supporters. You guys are the true MVPs of this channel. Everything I've said, you keep the fridge full, you keep the lights on. There aren't enough words to thank you guys, but we'll do it anyway. Thank you. And we have a few videos coming up that have been suggested to us by Patreon pledgers. My Hero Academia, Neon Genesis Evangelion, and Full Metal Alchemist will be reviewed by Marissa, and yours truly, and Castlevania, which will be reviewed by Marissa and Aaron. And if you'd like to consider donating to our Patreon page, you can visit patreon.com/nerdsoup and check out some of the rewards we offer to our listeners. And really, we'd like to thank everyone who takes the time out of their day to watch our videos. Patreon pledger or not, your support is what keeps us motivated to keep giving the world our opinions on movies and TV shows and video games and pop culture, even though no one asked for it. We're still here, we're still yapping, and we hope you continue to join us. I'm Beau Oliver, and I support this message.